I thought we'd do a bit of an experiment today, seeing it's Friday and seeing the elections over in the UK and everybody's happy apart from Jeremy Corbyn. Suits him well, doesn't it? Anyway, what we're going to look at today is tightening bolts up, and we're going to use a selection of bits and pieces we've got kicking around the workshop, ranging from an impact driver, a good old-fashioned torque wrench, a clicky type torque wrench, and a digital torque wrench. Now, out of all these, this is the most expensive, and this is the one I use on, because you can use it on angle as well as torques. However, I've got this all preset for 300 TDI head bolts. That's 60 Newton meters, so 60 degrees. So if it beeps, don't worry about it. What we're going to use as a test is this old hub here and some bolts. And the thing is, we're going to, I know you shouldn't do this, but we're going to put a little bit of oil on the thread. I know you should put a bit of Loctite on. And I always tighten these up to, come on oil. I always tighten these up to 60 Newton meters, or 65 Newton meters. Now, so what we're going to do is going to wind it down, first of all, using, when I find the socket, where's it gone? Yeah, damn it, oh it's here. First of all, going to use this bolt, and how much can this torque down to? Well, the easiest way to test it is with one of these chaps here. These here, you see? It's got a sort of a moving scale, if you see what I mean. We can move it. So let's put the socket on and see what that tightened it down to. Now let me move this over here and you might be able to see. I don't know, because I can't get my camera in here either. I'll just shout it out. So when this starts to move, I'll shout out what the torque is. You get it? So there we go. That's 40 Newton meters. That's 40 Newton meters, and it's just to say moving. Alright? Let me see if I can get this bit closer and down, so you show, you know, so I'm not telling lies. So here we go. You see, I know it's difficult to read, but there's about 40 Newton meters. It should be, where have you gone now? You're all, we're all over the place now, aren't we? It should be 65. So, let's use this to tighten it down to 65, and then we'll check it against the click ratchet and the digital. Clever. Right, here we go. So I'll put this on here. It's going to be a right mess of a video, isn't it? Right, here. So 65. There we go. That is 65. Thereabouts. This click ratchet is set at 65. Now, if we look at the bolt, is it going to turn any more? Keep your eye down here. A little bit, tiny bit, but not bad. It wasn't. What I mean is, it wasn't coming all the way around here. It moved a fraction, so we're sort of in the ballpark. Let's put this now onto the digital thing. Now this has gone to sleep again, as it usually does. The funniest thing about this thing is here, it's set on foot-pounds, and I don't know how to get it to Newton meters, but it should be 44.25 foot-pounds. Now don't be worried if it makes a noise. So here we go, and it hasn't moved yet. 44.45. So it's like 1 Newton meter out. That's not bad. So actually, for a bolt like that, they're pretty much in the ballpark. What the point of this video is this. I see an awful lot of mechanics tighten them up with these. Way too tight. And I've already done an experiment. That's why it's got 3 bolts in here. Alright, let's have a look and see. Because I see a lot of this. People go wild tightening these up thinking it's like some sort of a pressure thing. It isn't. There's no pressure in the axle. There's only a little like paper seal on here. So the paper, you know, it's not like a head gasket or anything like that where we are clamping pressure down. This is just mainly to stop oil coming out and also to transfer the drive. We don't want the bolts coming out naturally, but if you've noticed on later cars they don't actually put spring washers on here. They put Loctite on the bolts. Now, I've already done an experiment to show you quickly what happens when you tighten up a hubbed bolt with this gun. That happens. And where does it snap? Let's see if we can see into there. It has snapped here. Where are you going? God bloody hell, that daft camera. Yeah, yeah, you can see it there, look. It's snapped just at the start of the thread. Just at the start of the thread where it goes in. It didn't snap the shank here. And it didn't snap right on the edge of the threads, because this is the piece where it starts to meet resistance, if you see what I mean. This is its weakest point, because the bolt can't tighten anymore, so you end up applying more and more torque. And the thing is, I've opened loads and loads of hubs like this and found snap bolts. We got a car from Poland once and all these bolts were held in with silicone. So we had to scrap the hub because, oh, there we go again, they're really tricky to drill out. They are really tricky. It needs to be put on a milling machine with a dividing head just to get it right, you know, to get the centres of the bolts right, because you don't want them too loose. But then again, today with these hubs so cheap that, well, you might as well buy a new hub. You can, if you're engineeringly minded, re-drill these, you know, between the studs, re-drill them. Yeah, I mean, but again, take it down to a machine shop, it'll charge you more than it would be for a hub. It's sad really, because like I say, trying to get that stud out of there is going to be a real mean job, because you don't want to run off with your drill into the sides. So you want me to show you how to snap a bolt off, don't you? I know, you at the back. Let's do it. Because this hub's scrap now. It's scrap. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get some white marker and put it on the socket so you can see it going round. That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? Right, I've prepped up a bolt here. I've got one in and I've tightened it down with this old gauge here to 65. Now, you can see there's the white mark. But I tell you what, this has got a 200 Newton metre range on it. Can we tighten that bolt down to 200 Newton metres before it snaps? Let's see. Things I do for you, eh? No, it cost me a fortune. Right, here we go. That is 100 Newton metres and it's still turning, look. Look at it very carefully. It won't go over 100 Newton metres. That's it. Let's have another grab. Look at this. So again, 100, 105. It's still turning. 120. My bench is moving now. 120. Now that bolt now is stretching. It's a good experiment, isn't it? I wish I'd thought of this ages ago. And look at it, look how much it's stretching. Hey, I'll tell you what would be good. Let's take it out and compare it with a new bolt to see how much it has stretched. That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? Here, let's use a power bar. Because that bolt now is knackered. It hasn't broke yet. It's only a matter of time. And you can see how much I have to undo it. It's not much at all, is it? Let's spin it out with this. Not much. In fact, hardly any at all. Let's keep going. Well, an experiment, I tell you. It's like Blue Peter, isn't it? Here we go. It won't, it keeps turning. 120. One twenty all the time. But look at it still turning. Now it won't be the threads in the housing that's stretching, it'll be the bolt. That little piece just here, it's starting to pull apart because it's got nowhere for it to go. Oh, it's getting softer now. Oh, we're back down to 100 now. Let's take it out again. Has it moved anything? Yes, it's starting. I can see, if you look very carefully, here, you can see where it's starting to narrow down. Let me get my, oh, it's here, look, that's good. We'll get the old caliper out. We'll try it. It's a real-time experiment. So we'll start this up. It's on millimetres. So the thread here is 975, and here 938. 983. What's that there? 975 around about. Come down here. 924. Oh, she's gonna go. Let's put it back in again. I don't care now because this hub's knackered. Right. Let's put some more torque onto it. Where's the socket? Here we go. So that's it. That bolt now is absolutely buggered. But it was funny, well, it's like a curve. It got to its peak and then it levelled out and then it's dropped down again for the power, for the amount of torque it'll take. And now, it's 100. It won't go above 100. Coming down. 80. And there she goes. Knackered. You heard it click. Now, is it going to come out? Where did it snap? Yep, the same place. Look at that. What a surprise. Now, as a bit of fun, seeing we're onto our last bolt now. Put a bit of oil on here. Let's use this one. We might be able to still see our mark on here, so I'll whiz it down. This is a big gun. I don't know what torque is now. I've forgotten. I'm going to start it on the first power. Now let's have a look at the digital of the old bar torque wrench and see what that was tightening it down to. Ooh, 130. You see, it's even with this at its lowest setting, it's twice as much as it should be, and that was just going gentle with it, wasn't it? Right. Let's destroy it. You can see that one. Let's put it on to warp factor 3. You see that? Yeah. Warp factor 3. And see how little it takes to do it. That's it. Buggered. Oh, it snapped the same place. What a surprise! But you can see how violently this one's pulled apart than this one. This has been a progressive stretch, but this one's just been a violent like that. But this one's been a slow, steady wind out. That was fun, wasn't it? Now, what's the moral of this exercise? Well, you can buy one of these for £160. You can buy one of these round about, I don't know, £60 or $100 or something like that, a bit more. The downside about these is they're a right mess about to unclick, and I don't know if you can focus in on there. I must have had this for donkey's years, and it's all sort of just about worn off, and it's really hard to read. And this is why I'm starting to use this old chap, because I get a lot of bolts that's in the range of 50 to 75 Newton meters. You know, on the bolts, like the 10mm threaded bolts. Depends on what grade they are. If they're a bit stronger, well, they take a bit more tightening down. But I've found this one's really handy because it's quick. You can go around everything and just check them very quickly. And if you've got no money, well, you can get these for next to nothing. Do they need calibrating? I don't know. But you have a range to work with for a 10mm bolt like this. You know, I think it's between 50 and 65 Newton meters. That's its happy spot. So what got me onto this was that when we were talking the other day about, you know, people putting a bolt in here and pulling it out, you know, when I made that thing. Well, it's not the right thread. And the problem is I've seen people put these in with an impact gun, these here, and strip the bloody threads off. That's why I came up with that idea. This isn't a promotional idea. This isn't promotion for my little tool thing. It was just something I was thought about while I had it in the vise. So anyway, even on the humblest of bolts, on these flange bolts, and bolts all over the place, don't over tighten them. There is a reason why a spanner is set at a certain length. Here's another thing I'll show you. So here we are, back again. That's an average 10mm spanner. Why is it that long? Is it for ease of access? No, not really. It's like that so you can't apply too much torque to it. You can sort of clinch another spanner on and cheat a little bit and then it'll snap off. But that's generally the reason why it's so small. On the other hand, I've got a big dick here. You see this King Dick? Well, this King Dick came from Her Majesty's government, and it's for tightening up wheels and nuts and things like this on tanks, you know, the bits and pieces on big heavy machinery. And it's this big to apply torque, and you can even bang it with an hammer because the bolts will take it. They'll be like a grade 8 or, well, be a grade 10 or grade 12 bolt and nut, so they can have that extra fastening down power. So that's why they're all different lengths. I don't use that very often. So that's it. You know, I see an awful lot of people snap flanges and things like that, ruin perfectly good hubs by simply snapping the bolts inside. It's pretty sad really, but you know. But what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to insert a table here, and that table will show you approximately, for metric bolt diameters, the torque. And it has two different grades, so just be careful. You know, if a standard bolt like this one is just a sort of low grade bolt, but the other ones have got different markings on the head, and we'll do a thing about bolts and its markings. But generally speaking, sometimes what they do, the regular black bolts or silver bolts, well, they're like, I think they're marked 10.6. I can't really see that one, but a higher grade bolt is marked with a higher number. I can't remember off the top of my head at the moment because I don't think I've got any. But again, that's another video for another day. But generally speaking, on our Land Rovers, our chassis and things like this, the bolts are generally 10mm. Now the thing is, what I'm trying to get at is this. If you use a torque meter like this, after a period of time, you get a feeling for a bolt. You know, is this, yeah, that's just right. Yeah, you know, that's right. And usually, 9 times out of 10, you whip them round, and with this thing, you're pretty damn close. So, you know, like a lot of seasoned mechanics don't really torque everything down, because they already know that this is where it should be. But this experiment showed you just how far you can actually go past a bolt's usable strength. This is a difficult subject. Anyway, we've covered snapping bolts and what to do with flanges, but like I say, don't go too wild, and try and stay away from impact guns like this. They're good for unloosening things, like rusty bolts, but not for fastening them down. Alright, you've been warned. Alright, catch you in the next video. Bye.